For nearly 75 years, Dixie Power has been providing its members with safe, reliable, and affordable energy. One of the biggest reasons Dixie Power has some of the lowest rates in the country is due to its membership.
It absolutely helps keep that cost down. We have no motive but other than to cover our costs. If we make money, we actually give it back to our consumers. So we're not in the business of making money. We're just in the business of covering our costs of doing business, and that's the cooperative way.
What started out as 4 small companies in southern Utah and northern Arizona eventually converged into one, allowing Dixie Power to grow with the times, and it continues to grow.
Today we serve about 30,000 customers, member owners, and is how we like to refer to them, and we're growing very rapidly. We add anywhere from 150 to 200 new accounts every month. And we're spread in Washington County all the way across the southern part of the communities of St. George, Washington, and Hurricane.
With offices in Beryl and St. George, Utah, Dixie Power has evolved with the times, diversifying its resources while at the same time relying on what has worked for generations.
We have one of the newest and one of the cleanest coal-fired power plants in the country that we own and operate, the Deseret Power Plant in Vernal, and that's not the only thing we do, though. We have diversified. We have built solar plants. We just finished a fairly large one right next to our coal plant just 6 months ago. We have built gas plants. We built a plant out in Fort Pierce, finished it last summer. I brought it online last summer. And we're building another natural gas plant right next to the coal plant in Vernal. And so our philosophy is we want to keep rates low, and so we're going to use the resources that we've invested in as long as we can.
Dixie Power's newest natural gas plant on River Road runs very efficiently, generating electricity for air conditioning and other peak demand seasons, producing around 15 megawatts of power.
Clear back in 2006, we developed a plan, and we've executed that since then. And we've stayed ahead of the growth by executing that plan, and we are well poised in this area to handle the growth from an infrastructure standpoint.
And just like other utility companies, in order to keep rates down, impact fees are collected on new developments to help pay for the new growth.
We charge an upfront fee where you sort of buy into the infrastructure that we have and help pay for the impacts of the growth.
Engineer and COO of the company, Colin Jack, says with Dixie Power, members can expect to turn on their light switches and have instantaneous results.
It's high voltage transmission lines at 345,000 volts. And so in the very moment that it's generated in Vernal, it arrives here in St. George. You flip on a switch and it comes straight from there to here, and you don't see any delay because there isn't any. It travels at the speed of light.
The federal government's proposed switch from coal to other renewable energy sources won't be easy. According to engineers, these resources aren't as reliable or cost efficient. That's why the COO of the company has joined with the state of Utah in educating others about the impacts and costs associated with providing reliable power using coal.
And we have a lot of coal in the state of Utah. In fact, if we powered the entire country, we could power them for 100 years just with the coal resources that we know about. So we have no shortage of resource here in Utah. And coal is way cheaper than anything else in the market. We can burn coal. Our fuel cost for coal is about 1 cent a kilowatt hour versus 5 to 6 cents for natural gas. So the fuel costs on coal is very inexpensive.
Yeah, we would see a lack of resource if we were to have a mandate to shut down all of our coal facilities in the next 3 or 4 years. It's just not physically possible to make the conversion that fast. We need more time, we need more technology. We need, frankly, more resources like nuclear to become available. And we would be all in on nuclear if we thought we could get it done in the next 10 years. But I think, honestly, that's not the timeline. I think nuclear's out there a little ways.
In partnership with the City of St. George, Dixie Power made it possible for residents to participate in solar power through its SunSmart program. However, SunPower, especially in St. George, isn't as forgiving due to inefficiency to produce in higher temperatures.
It's like yesterday, there's no wind, and so it's 115 degrees. And everybody needs their air conditioning at the same time, and coal does that. Even solar doesn't do that, because when it's hot, solar panels produce less. They're rated at 75 degrees Fahrenheit. So everything over 75 degrees, and yesterday we were a lot more than that, they're producing less and less than even their nameplate says.
Dixie Power diversifies by using hydropower as well as geothermal. The company has also placed chargers for electric cars as part of its services. However, like anything else, batteries which store power don't have a long shelf life.
There's still no battery technology different than what's on your cell phone. Lithium-ion batteries, when they put them on utilities, they just put more of them. And they function essentially the same way, which means they work for about a year, and then they start getting worse and worse and worse until you have to replace them after about 3 years.
Nonetheless, Dixie Power's motto is energizing life. The electric co-op has made plans 30 years into the future to accommodate growth and change.
Electricity, energy has become the driving economic force for residences, for businesses, for our economy, and we got to be careful that we don't wreck that in this transition.
And until then, Dixie Power will continue to provide a reliable supply of power to its members into the future.
Our job is to make sure they have it when they need it at a price they can afford.
In St. George, Melissa Anderson, Community Education News.